Hey everyone, this is Elenbaas from Nightlight Astrology, and today we're going to continue our series on the Tao Te Ching for astrologers. We're going to be looking at verses 65 and 66 of the Tao Te Ching, and we will be looking at this through the Jonathan Starr translation, which comes from Tarcher Cornerstone Editions. Highly recommend picking up a copy of this book, especially if you want to read along with the series, and also just because it's a great text to have around for daily reading and inspiration. I highly recommend it. So we will read through verse 65 and 66 twice. On the second time through, I offer some reflections in light of the study and practice of astrology. Astrology as a spiritual path has a lot in common with many mystical traditions around the world, and I have always been interested in the Taoist sort of stream of philosophical thought, from the I Ching to the Tao Te Ching, and often use the I Ching as an oracle alongside of astrology. And so I've really enjoyed this series because it's allowed me and hopefully others who have watched it to reflect upon this timeless wisdom in light of our love of astrology. So that's what we're going to do today. Before we get into it, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. Share your comments and reflections. This helps the channel to grow. As you guys know, you can find a transcript of any of my daily talks on the website, nightlightastrology.com. We are also at that time of year where we are raising money to support this channel in the year ahead. Throughout the year, I create content 5 days a week. There's a team of people that I hire to help with this whole process. When you pitch in, you're supporting my staff and myself and some really good goals in the year ahead, including our big goal for 2023, which is the creation of a reading service that will be more affordable for people who otherwise may not be able to afford astrological readings. You can find the link in the description of this video or the comment section below. $5, $10. If you like this channel, if this is a source of inspiration for you, please consider pitching in and supporting it. We really appreciate it. All right, well, let's go ahead, and I'm going to put the verses up on the screen. We're doing verses 65 and 66 today. Verse 65. The ancient ones were simple-hearted and blended with the common people. They did not shine forth, they did not rule with cleverness, so the nation was blessed. Now the rulers are filled with clever ideas, and the lives of people are filled with hardship, so the nation is cursed. He who knows the play of Tao and Te knows the nature of the universe. Tao brings forth Te from its own being. Te expands in all directions, filling every corner of the world, becoming the splendor of all creation. Yet at every moment, Te seeks Tao. This is the movement that guides the universe. This is the This is the movement that guides the universe. This is the impulse that leads all things back home. Let's go on to verse 66. Why do the 100 rivers turn and rush towards the sea? Because it naturally stays below them. He who wishes to rule over the people must speak as if below them. He who wishes to lead the people must walk as if behind them. So the sage rules over the people, but he does not weigh them down. He leads the people, but he does not block their way. The sage stays low, so the world never tires of exalting him. He remains a servant, so the world never tires of making him its king. Beautiful verses. Let's go up to verse 65. Now we're going to reread this verse and then offer some reflections in light of our study and practice of astrology. Verse 65, the ancient ones were simple-hearted and blended with the common people. They did not shine forth. They did not rule with cleverness, so the nation was blessed. Now the rulers are filled with clever ideas, and the lives of people are filled with hardship, so the nation is cursed. He who knows the play of Tao and Te knows the nature of the universe. Tao brings forth Te from its own being. Te expands in all directions, filling every corner of the world, becoming the splendor of all creation. Yet at every moment Te seeks Tao. This is the movement that guides the universe. This is the impulse that leads all things back home. One of the things that I love about ancient astrology is the intricate philosophy of the entire system, as it's rooted in the relationship between the sun and the moon. Now, it's not an exact parallel to Tao and Te. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. but it's close. So in ancient astrology, the sun is a symbolic representative of a metaphysical or philosophical idea or principle, which is that of the origin or source of all things. This is a symbol of the light that is the source of everything. The sun is. The moon, as a reflective satellite that's moving very quickly, always moving very fast, latitude always changing, face always changing, collecting light and then shedding it off through every lunar cycle. And we know the moon, of course, is a reflective light, as did ancient astrologers. And that reflective light was associated as a symbol with a metaphysical quality as well, which is the world of coming to be and passing away. So that this world, in its constant fluctuation and change, is also a ever-present reflection of eternity. And so for the person who's studying astrology, not only because they have some interest in their future or their own psychology or, self-help or improvement, all of which are important, and, all of which can be part of a spiritual lifestyle, understanding something of the season that you're in, the chapter that you're in, and the specific part of the chapter that you're in life, knowing which planets are moving, it can all be very helpful. But at a deeper level, what is astrology doing to us over time? It is helping us understand the play. He who knows the play of Tao and Te knows the nature of the universe. Tao brings forth Te from its own being. Te expands in all directions, filling every corner of the world, becoming the splendor of all creation. Yet at every moment, Te seeks Tao. This is the movement that guides the universe. This is the impulse that leads all things back home. There's a way in which over time, when you study astrology, you start to realize that because the planets, like the moon, are all collectively reminding us that every experience we have, every season of life that we're in, is a reflection of the divine and that which is eternal, whatever name we want to give it or call it. That knowledge or that recognition over time starts helping us to see the play and interaction of the eternal and the time-bound, spirit and matter, Tao and Te, whatever. There's so many different words and names that it has been given. Some people have said it's like the universe seeking out itself and coming to know itself, playing hide and seek with itself. If you live an astrological lifestyle over time, there is a way in which all of your experiences start to fill you with the felt presence of the divine and the eternal. And that makes life beautiful. Beautiful in a way that is not caught up in the normal, like everyday binaries that we tend to get caught up in. It is a beauty that includes pain. It is a beauty that includes disappointment and failure, shortcomings. It's a beauty that somehow incorporates the highs and lows and the dualities that are a very real part of life that can't be avoided. This isn't a philosophy that is about, bypassing the carrying of the cross of these dualities, because that's what it is. It's a treacherous and very difficult thing to live a life filled with these opposites. But when you start to understand them reflected in the planets, reflected in a language like astrology that is archetypal in nature, a soulful ability. Your life as soulful means that you have the ability to mediate these experiences meaningfully. And that it's not order as in some kind of authoritarian sense of order, but order as in a cosmos, cosmos from the word cosmetic, a complete arrangement. That sense of a complete arrangement starts to emerge. And that's the gift of doing astrology when we do it from this kind of spiritual perspective. All right, let's go on to verse 66. Why do the 100 rivers turn and rush toward the sea? Because it naturally stays below them. He who wishes to rule over the people must speak as if below them. He who wishes to lead the people must walk as if behind them. So the sage rules over the people, but he does not weigh them down. He leads the people, but he does not block their way. The sage stays low, so the world never tires of exalting him. He remains a servant, so the world never tires of making him its king. Beautiful verse. A little trickier to relate back to astrology, because in a sense, this verse is telling us about the qualities of a sage or a leader. But we should ask, if we're studying astrology and it's having any spiritual impact on our life, helping us to become wiser, then what are some of the byproducts, or what would the evidence of that wisdom be? And one of them apparently would be that though we are filled with this increasing awareness of that which is eternal and divine amidst the dualities of life, that knowledge does not make us haughty. It doesn't make us arrogant. In fact, it makes us very common. It actually is like getting a passport to become a cosmic citizen. It's like, well, actually, it's to have this knowledge just gains you admission into the it's sort of like, well, this wisdom is actually just helping you to be like an individuated cosmic citizen. But it doesn't mean that the cosmic play doesn't continue to go on after that point. It does, which is why this wisdom normalizes you existentially somehow. Not normalizes as in makes you bland, but normalizes as in, helps you to not keep banging your head on the same old wall. You're not trying to make yourself more than something that you are, nor are you constantly dealing with these ravenous spirits of shame, nor are you trying to make reality into anything more than it is. You don't necessarily even need to know what it is, but neither are you trying to make it less than it is, or are you trying to diminish it in some way or simplifying it any longer. So this wisdom, when it grows in us over time, it has a way, my little insights about this, of course, right, is that there's a way in which this wisdom helps you to be a common player on the stage of the universe, very aware of your place as like a grain of sand on the beaches of infinity. It's like that. You're not irrelevant, but you're not very more special or important. That's where unique, the word unique makes some sense finally. We tend to use the word unique like, well, it makes you, you stand out, you're more special. Unique is sometimes, my daughter asked me the other day, she said, what does the word unique mean? And I said, it means that you have interesting individual characteristics. And I said, and everyone's like that, but we have to learn how to see it. So, it takes a unique person to see the uniqueness in things. To me, that's what astrology helps us to do. And if it's making us wise in any way, and if in any way there is if there's some way in which we can be a good influence on the world, or try to make the world into something good or better, if it has some potential in it, then it doesn't come from us trying to lord over other people with some sense of superior spiritual wisdom. Because this knowledge grows within us a sense of common cosmic appreciation, common cosmic place. To the people that need some help, it is especially appealing because it is humble and plain and sort of obvious in a way. It's like if you've ever listened to Thich Nhat Hanh speak, he was so plain and simple and somehow so profound. But so much of that came from the embodied, simple brilliance not a haughtiness, not an arrogance, but that he had grown within himself through the cultivation of his consciousness, let's call it. He had grown within himself something profound, but made so profound because of how humble and common and simple it was. And that's really where an astrological life should be leading us. A sense that we are unique, that we see uniquely, but that there's also like a commonness and a humility in it. So it's hard to deeply appreciate things and really experience the aesthetic bliss of life without some kind of humble, open space of listening and perceiving. I think astrology does that for us over time because it teaches us to watch and listen for the sounds and images of eternity in the midst of our experiences. So anyway, those are just my reflections. I hope that this is useful for you, and that it helps you to keep deepening your relationship to astrology, to be listening to this series. That's what I've got for today. Don't forget, we are in the midst of trying to reach our goal of 1,608 backers by the new year. If you find some value in these videos, you can find the link in the description or comments of this video to the Kickstarter. Pitch in $5-10, anything. Pick a reward when you donate if you want to. Some good discounts on my classes, special talks that I do, and stuff like that. It goes a long way to helping us, and we really appreciate your support. That's what I've got. Hope you guys are having a nice weekend. Bye.